afternoon. If our guests could please be seated. Graduates, if you could remain standing for just 2 minutes. Graduates, you guys ready? All right. Graduates, I want you to look at all the people here to support you guys. I've personally witnessed your hard work and patience. I acknowledge the immense obstacles that have prevented you from obtaining the education that we all deserve. I know that you've not earned this graduation day alone. Please join me in a round of applause for your friends and family, staff and volunteers who have played a big part in making this day happen. Thank you, graduates. You may be seated. They said it was going to be hot. My name is Jonathan Tucker. I'm the Director for Corrections Education at Chemeketa Community College. I'd like to welcome you to our GED and College Inside graduation at Oregon State Penitentiary, our biggest graduation yet. Just please look at the number of black robes that we have sitting over here to my right. Graduates, one of any community college's greatest obligations is to train and award more and more graduates that can then integrate into our local community and improve both its workforce and the collective story that our society can tell about itself. Today's graduation is no different. Our setting today may be slightly skewed from a graduation at the traditional college campus, but the required character that you've shown in persevering, overcoming, and then conquering a tremendous personal challenge is actually the exact same character that is necessary to transform our shared community both inside and outside this facility. Congratulations. We're thrilled today to have so many outside guests present, and we're also very happy to have our current college students in attendance. I can see them back there, so I'm quickly trying to say hello. The purpose of this ceremony, however, is not to simply pat ourselves on the back. Rather, it's to inspire each of us to continue to consider how we can improve our own lives and the lives of our neighbors. For example, GED graduates, you've passed an examination that the majority of graduating American high school seniors cannot pass. Should they be asked to sit down today for the test, over half of them would fail the same exam that you've passed this year. We're proud to know you, and we encourage you to continue on the educational path of the men who sit behind you this afternoon. Congratulations. College graduates, oh boy, you guys have overcome hurdles including infrequent access to technology, research, support staff, and even each other. And yet you've made it here today, surrounded by people who cheered you on, even when you didn't necessarily hear those cheers on a daily basis. Today we cheered together on your behalf. Congratulations. Current students, the guys who are in the far back of the area, after today, you will continue with those same daily hurdles. I'll see you next week in the evening time. We'll talk about computer labs. We'll talk about a million things. But my big question is, can you please attend graduation next year in different seats? That's our job. Today, graduates, you've completed a unique journey in corrections education and in universal education. This is the only program I've ever been a part of that has such intense support from community members, the community college campus, and the local and state law enforcement agencies. Let's all use this ceremony as a beginning to the next chapter of your life and not a temporary chapter's end. Congratulations. Last year, there was so much pressure. It was my first year. I thanked about 100 people in particular, and I named names. I've done some research. I've spoken to our speakers who are going to come behind me, and I asked which names are going to be thanked. I'm going to sprinkle a few thanks out throughout this ceremony, but I'm going to try to keep it short because it's hot and because we want to have time to celebrate together. I do want to quickly acknowledge that I'm grateful for everyone's help who's outside with us today. I'm grateful to the graduates and the students. But I'd like to take this quick moment to thank the Oregon State Penitentiary security and activities staff for their support. Moments like today are not just moments. They take a heck of a lot of work and a heck of a lot of cooperation. I'd like to thank Oregon State Penitentiary, DOC, for everything they've done for the past year. We have a unique relationship with the Department of Corrections because the amount of support, and it's about to be shown by our next speaker, we are super proud and privileged to have Superintendent Brandon Kelly here to speak with us today. Mr. Kelly.
Good afternoon. So a few weeks ago when Mr. Tucker sent me an email and asked if I'd like to speak, I eagerly said yes. Most people would have probably figured out what they were going to say. I walked out here today with not knowing what to say. But lucky for me, Mother Nature and Father Time worked in my favor of keep it short, say very, very little. And more importantly, because today's not about me, it's about these people over here. So today, we are privileged to witness and proud to see 18 people graduate from college, 43 achieve their GED inside a maximum security prison. Most people would think that's unheard of. How could you ever accomplish it? How could you ever do it? Well, we do it by the hard work of these individuals and the people that provide them that education. So, I have one quick story that I'm going to share that I think is important too today. So every time you tell somebody what you do for a living, and you say, I work for the Department of Corrections, people always ask why. Why would you want to work for the Department of Corrections? And I always tell them, very few occupations in the world can you wake up every day knowing you're going to work and you have the ability to positively influence every individual you meet, every part of their family, and more importantly, every part of the world. I get to come to work knowing every day that I can make a positive difference by the support I provide for the staff around here and the individuals that live here. So today is one of those days where we get to witness the positive impact that we all have by the support system we provide here at the Oregon State Penitentiary. So graduates, I congratulate you. Your journey, I'm sure, was a long one and at times difficult and maybe seemed unachievable. But today, know that you achieved what many are afraid to or many could never have done, much less while enduring the incarceration in a maximum security prison. So I commend you on your efforts, commend you on your ability to keep going, and you should be very proud and ensure that you remember today as you move forward in life. So thank you very much, and we'll move on.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Before I introduce our next speaker, the Chemeketa board member representing the Chemeketa board, we wanted to quickly single out a few other departments of Chemeketa that have helped us in the past year. I wanted to thank our tutoring center, many of whom are here today for their work with our GED tutors over the past calendar year. I know they're here. I wanted to thank our financial aid department, represented by Dean Kathy Campbell, who is here today. Chemeketa is the only school in the state that has second chance Pell Grants available for the incarcerated, and the work that we have with that financial aid department is the only way that we can make that happen. So thank you very much. I didn't do this last year, so I'm going to kind of quickly do it twice. I'd really like to thank our Chemeketa Media Services team for participating in the filming of today's ceremony. There's a link on the back of your program with a web address, and after about 48 hours, 72 hours, that video will then be put up online. So thank you guys very much for your work. We're truly fortunate to have some Chemeketa board members here with us today to support our program. I'd like to thank them in advance for coming, and I'd also like to thank Mr. Ed Dotson for coming and giving us a few words. Mr. Dotson.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon, graduates, parents, family, friends, and faculty. On behalf of the Chemeketa Board of Education, I want to tell you how proud we are and honored to share this graduation service with you. No other service or activity for the college has any higher priority for the board than this activity. Your decision to seek a degree, your commitment to complete the work required, and your support of each other during your time of study speaks loudly to change to which you can commit your life. Such change would assist you in seeking improved employment, in helping your families, and helping you to be an excellent example for the community you will live in. I hope the certificate or degree that you receive today is only a first step in your educational endeavors. The frequent changes and advancements in technology will require you to join today's workforce as lifelong learners. Each of you, each of us, has the opportunity to enhance our lives and the lives of our family, our friends, and our community in which we each live. My father considered this an opportunity to make a difference. He believed that if everyone, yes, everyone, gave more than they took and left everything better than they found it, there would be less need for social services programs and facilities like this one. We would make it in a better way. We encourage each of you to continue your education, support your family and community by making a difference. Thank you, graduates, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you, Mr. Dodson. This is the next three speakers that we have coming all represent different programs of Chemeketa that they're graduating from. This is definitely going to be the best part of the program. So for the past 15 minutes, I apologize, but I'm excited to announce our very first student speaker representing the GED program here run by Ms. Aganyaga. His name is Mr. David Getzinger Hahn.
Oh man, it is hot, isn't it? All right, we're here today because of determination. It took me a year to get my GED. The first 6 months were a little rough, but I began to start seeing the more effort I was putting into class, I was getting more than just further in the work, but also on mainline. I know for some of my fellow students as well. Getting our GED is just the beginning. It's opened the doors for any career we want. The sky's the limit. We did this for ourselves and for our loved ones. For me, those are my mom, Teresa, my sister, Brittany, and my son, David. I love them so very much. And I know as a lot of us here, we've put our parents and our loved ones through it. But now here's something to show them we're on the right track. Even in the dark place we're in, we're all still bettering ourselves. This program has given us a second chance. I know I'm going to take advantage of it. And I advise all my peers to do the same. I've already signed up for a grant for automotive. I love fixing things and I'm good at it. Some of us started with Miss A, but all of us finished with her. She's been a great inspiration to each of us. For me, this would have never happened without her. True statement. She must love her job having to deal with all of us, but I know she enjoys her work. Give her a hand. We're all living proof. If you work hard enough for something, you'll get it. Don't give up. This has honestly been the greatest step for each of us. It's changed our life already. We're educated. And for those of us who have children or siblings falling a little behind, sister, you know what I mean? We're showing it's never too late, but also why it's a good idea just to get it in the first place. Also, a special thanks to my man Mark, my dude Gus, Jeremy for helping me out with the speech before this, the tutors, staff, the college, everyone who made this possible, and everyone who's helped us along the way or just been there for us. Put your hands together. We did it.
Thank you, David. We'd now like to introduce Mr. Jade Berry, our automotive technology graduate from Chemeketa.
Wow. All right then. I didn't think I'd be this nervous. Amazing, huh? Too many people. First, I'd like to welcome everybody for being here, especially on this hot, extremely hot day. Appreciate all of you showing up and coming out to help us celebrate. You know, it's a graduation that we can all be proud of right here. So, thank you. When I started in the automotive class about 2 years ago, I was a totally different person. I thought I was a failure. I didn't think I'd ever amount to much. Today I can stand here and tell you that's different. You know, through the program, I learned that I can do whatever I want to set my mind to do, and I can be whoever I want to be. So, yeah, good learning experience. I think all of us today should be able to hold our heads high and be proud of this moment. We've earned it, each and every one of us. We worked hard to get here. We're the ones that showed the dedication. We made this program our very first priority over anything else. Passing. Because of this, we get to walk out of prison successful. Not just regular prisoners who can lift weights, play better cards, talk better game. We're college graduates, GED graduates. We worked hard, we got somewhere. In this process, I've learned a lot about cars, and of course what I've learned is just how much I don't know. Yeah, Mom, it's been said, it's on video, you have proof. You know, I know now how to think in a clear and logical way, thanks to Bill. I know how to test systems, to use flow charts. I know how to use scan tools, multimeters, and air tools. Heck, I learned what a die grinder was. I can take apart not only an engine, but an automatic transmission. Prior to this, I'd never known anything about cars. Although I'm not intimidated by all the little pieces in there anymore. I know what they do, I know where they go. I've also learned how to follow instruction. Boy, I wish I'd had that one a few years ago. So most of all, though, I learned to believe in myself, how to get along and work with others. We've all learned to share, communicate, and be patient with each other, staff. I guess now it's time to show a little gratitude. I definitely want to thank Bill and Amir for being there, for teaching us. Yeah. You know, seems like they always found ways to make us think, not only about what we were doing, but why we were doing it. I'd like to thank John, Mike. They're always up there trying to find easier ways for us to get to our classes, helping with financial aid. I was in deferment, or I was in default, and now I can be in deferment. So thank you guys, I appreciate your help. Helena, thank you for always being up there. Where is she? There she is. Thank you for always being up there and having a cheerful smile for us. Appreciate that. I also want to thank all the other DOC staff and Chemeketa staff that work behind the scenes that we never see. You know, you guys are great. You make all this possible up there for us, and I know that's probably a never-ending battle. You know, and I really want to thank everybody that's involved that gave us this opportunity. Thank you for allowing us to all become better skilled, more productive, and better community members. We thank you for that. Thank you all. Most of all, though, I want to thank my classmates up there for showing up every day, for being there and sharing this experience with me and helping push me with that. Thank you, guys. So with that, in closing, I just want to say, remember, guys, it's not what we did in the past. It's what we do from this moment forward that matters in our lives. So thank you all for being here. Let's eat some cake.
We're getting to the cake. We're getting to the cake. Thank you very much, Jade. We have one final student graduate speaker, Mr. Ben Reed, our AAOT graduate.
Thank you, John. Let's get another round of applause for all of our graduates. GED, BT Auto, Associated Arts, and Business. I mean, we did it, guys. We're here. Even though we all come from different educational backgrounds, we all had one thing in common, a goal. And we wanted to get to that goal at any cost. So fellow students, honored guests, staff, family members, what I'd like to talk to you about today is setting goals, reaching them, and who helped me along the way. Now, when I got to prison 7 years ago, I wasn't the man that's standing here today. I was very toxic, unhealthy, little education, and no real direction. And that right there in prison is a recipe for disaster. And that's what I had out there on the streets, was a disaster. You know, I left my family out there. And so I really laid in my bunk at night, trying to figure out how to right my wrongs from inside of here. And it can be very hard. You know, but luckily I landed here at OSP where they give you a variety of different opportunities for self-help. NA, AA, Pathfinders, and education. Now, I've been saying sorry my whole life to my family. And so that one word just wasn't going to do it this time for this mistake. I needed something that was going to require a lot of dedication and a time, and in a sense, a goal to show them that I was there. And so I thought the Inside Out Shemeketa program would probably be the best way to do that. And who knows, I might graduate and even make a speech. So I'm getting into this college program, about 24 months into it, and you know, I'm really starting to lose interest. You know, it was a lot of academia, so to speak. 3 terms of accounting, 2 terms of economics, business law, math, you know. And so it was really starting to go downhill. It wasn't until I signed up for a class for communications that all that really changed. It was instructed by a teacher here by the name of Michelle McCormick. First day of class, she asked us, you know, hey, write us an essay about why you guys are in school. Hey, no problem, I got that down. So I wrote it out, turned it in. The next day, she's handing back assignments. You know, I don't get mine. I'm like, Michelle, I need my paper. She's like, actually, meet me in my office after class. Ooh, we all know what that means, right? So I was going back there expecting one thing, but when I got back there, I got something completely different. You know, she said, Ben, why are you in college? And I said, well, you know, I don't want to come to prison anymore. I want an education. I want to impress my family. And she held up the paper that I turned in. It was just like a block of words, no indentation, very little punctuation. And she goes, this doesn't show me somebody who wants to do well in school. This shows me somebody who just wants to get by and doing the very minimum. She said, if you're going to be in my class, I need you to give me 100%. I need you to try to do what it is that you said you want to do. So Michelle, could you stand up real quick for me? Thank you. Michelle, I wanted to say thank you very much for taking that time to talk to me. You know, and over the next 3 classes, you know, I tried my very hardest to show you that what you said to me didn't fall on deaf ears. I want to say that you were a pivotal role in my educational program. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. If I could just get a show of hands of everybody that Michelle is effective in a positive way, I'm in there all over Michelle. It's not just us, it's also staff. So thank you very much. I don't think I'd be standing up here without you. So I have my education in my hand now, and like I mentioned, I was kind of a toxic and unhealthy person. You know, and I knew I couldn't learn how to have good relationships while being in prison. It's just not the best way to do it. So I figured I'd reach out and put up one of these pen pal online sites, and maybe I can meet somebody that way. And don't get me wrong, I got a lot of responses. But there was one that really stuck out to me, and her name was Journey. And yes, that is her real name, and please don't sing it to her. But I could tell from immediately there was something different about her. You know, she demanded respect, she set reasonable boundaries in a friendship, and she loved me in this weird, unconditional way. I truly believe that if I wasn't behind these walls, that I wouldn't be able to actually see what kind of person she was because of all the distractions that are out there in the real world. And by the same token, I don't think she could have found out who I was from the inside. You know, she was actually able to love me from a safe distance. And I think through 3 years of friendship, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, and marriage, trust, communication, and a healthy boundary, you know, we were able to have a marriage. And I'm happy to say that we've been married now for almost 16 months. So Journey, could you please stand up? My beautiful wife. I want to say thank you, baby, for seeing the potential in me. That up to this far, nobody had really seen in me. Thank you for always standing by me and loving me unconditionally. I promise to always be by your side, and no matter what, always have your back. And I encourage you to do the one thing that keeps this marriage together, and that's just have patience with me. And I promise to live by your motto that you gave us, and that is that she's the queen of everything, and I'm the king of pretty much whatever's left. So now I have a wonderful wife. I have an education. You know what I mean? And my goal to start this was that I wanted my family back in my life, and that's what I really wanted. That was my goal. So my family, my kids, could you guys stand up, please? It's all right, guys. Just stand up. I know you're probably wondering why they're not standing up. Well, it's because they're not here. You know, they didn't think that education and having a healthy marriage was enough to want to reconnect with me in my life. Somebody once told me that it's not the goals that you guys actually reach that tells you who you are. It's the goals that that are just out of reach, and it's the way you react to them. You know, it's that disappointment that drives you through. Ask any champion how they got there, and they're going to tell you it's from disappointment. And it's from disappointment. So I encourage all of you to remember this moment right here. I mean, look at it. We're graduating college and GED from inside a Maximus penitentiary. Now remember this moment when we get out there and the disappointment starts to pile on us. You know, do you think because that they aren't here right now that I'm not going to take one step closer to try to connect with that goal? You're absolutely right. And just remember, this isn't your last step to success. Make it your first step. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. We do have a very brief interlude today. I'd like to introduce Mr. Rick Cheney, our automotive graduate, and Jeremy Medilak, a special guest, up to the front. They have a song to sing for us called Start My Life Over.
Hey, Mom. Check, test.
Not very loud. Things out there.
So 2 years ago, I came to prison, and I had set a couple goals, and one was to graduate, and the other was to learn how to play the guitar. And about a year ago, I was sitting out in the yard, and I started thinking about my life, and all the people I was hanging around, and it just wasn't what I wanted in my life, and what I wanted for my family. And I know this is a song I came up with. I thought it was time to start my life over, you know. shout out to my mom and my cousin for showing up, and Abby and DJ, I love you. My kids.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Jeremy. I was going to say there's no way to follow up music or the arts unless we're just going to give out some certificates and diplomas. So it's probably close there. If I can quickly call up Sandra Aganyaga, Michael Budke, and Mr. David Howard, Executive Dean of the General Education Transfer Studies. We'll begin with our GED graduates. I'd like to quickly introduce Ms. Sandra Aganyaga to you. As our GED coordinator, we set goals every single year for diploma totals. Last year we had 62 GED graduates, which placed us almost at the very top of the state, Ms. Aganyaga. Were we tied for the top? Where were we? We were tied for the top last year. The neat thing about Ms. Aganyaga's program is that we meet with the tutors and we challenge the tutors to put their own benchmarks on the program. And this year our benchmark was going to be for 70. So we were going to lift it up from 62 to 70 GED diplomas. They knocked it up 8 more from what they did. And where's Mr. Fain? Mr. Fain, our total was going to be 70. How many did we get? 74. 74. And I hear there's a rumor of 80 for next year. I hear there's a rumor for 80. An incredible program. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Sandra Aganyaga.
Thanks for coming. I guess I better move over. I want to take a moment just to talk and focus on the GED graduates. Thank you. This day would not be possible without our instructors, Mr. Plaisance, Ms. Adishu, Mr. Shire in the computer lab, and our education tutors. At the heart of our GED program are committed and passionate tutors. Tutors that put in hours above and beyond to assist our students so they can come before you today as GED graduates. We have the best tutors at OSP. Without their hard work and commitment, this group of men would not be here celebrating today. Tutors, please stand. We've got some here. They're scattered throughout the back. Now to our GED graduates. Opportunities come and go, and you're here today because you were given an opportunity and you accepted the challenge of getting your GED. You have accomplished something that many of you thought was never ever possible. So I ask that you don't forget. Don't forget the valuable lessons that you've learned. For some of you, it was learning to believe in yourself or learning how to get focused. A lot of you, it was learning how to get focused. For others, it was learning how to prioritize your time. And for others, it was learning to ask for help when you needed it. Also a difficult thing to do. For most of you, it wasn't easy, and you were stretched. You wanted to give up, but you're here today because you did not give up. You did not give in to the memories of past failures, disappointment, and self-doubt. You have proven to yourself that you are a learner and that persistence and hard work pay off. It takes a commitment to grow and allow your living to transform who you are. And it's my hope that you will take what you've learned coupled with a renewed belief in who you are and your abilities, and that you will be inspired to make a positive impact in your community here and outside these walls. We are proud of you, your family's proud of you, but most importantly, I hope you're proud of your accomplishment. My heartfelt congratulations to you all. Would the first row of GED graduates please stand? Bradley Allen. Kyle Augustine. Joseph Barr. David Berry. Christopher Bishop. Merlin Bound. Ricky Branch. Devin Carney. Taide Carranza Canita. John Coffey. With the second row, please stand. Stephen Crossman. Daniel Crozier. Robert Darling. Juan Gilleon. Luis Fialos. Dimitri Vernega. David Gitzlinger. Edward Howard. Corey Hill. James Hill. John J. Jones. Gino King. Brian Knight. Adam Katlabach. Pablo Cusick. Robert Lopez de Jesus. Zachary May. Jeremy McGee. Sherry Nicholson. Matthew Navonte. Chad Prophet. Richard Brzezinski. Edward Richards. Gus Rouse. Adam Stroud. Joshua Taylor. Good job. Alma Tupo. And Walter Zels.
We're not quite finished yet. Those are the GED graduates. Congratulations. Ms. Aguinaldo quickly referred to our GED staff inside of OSP. We also have some help, our full-time staff at other facilities as well. Most of us are geared toward GED work at SCI, OSCI, and OSP here in Salem. The brunt of that work comes from people other than myself, the people who are here every day at 7 o'clock, working until 3:30 every single day. I just come in and out and talk this way, so I'm not doing anything. If you are full-time corrections education staff for Chemeketa, if you could stand up or wave or give us something just so we can thank you one more time. Our college program now serves 3 different facilities, OSCI, SCI, and OSP. Our college coordinator, Michael Budke, does all of the work with the assistance of Helena Longton, so I wanted to quickly recognize both of them. These two people are our library. They are our registrar. With apologies to the Dean of Financial Aid, they're our financial aid department inside. They are every single department housed on a community college campus. Just two people running around town going to 3 different facilities trying to do that work. I know it's a really huge challenge for you guys to graduate, but I did want to thank Michael Butke and Helena Longton for all that work. And ladies and gentlemen, College Coordinator, Mr. Michael Butke.
Thank you, John. And thank you all for braving the heat and joining us. This is a very exciting day for our program. It's the culmination of the hard work that our students have put in. And there are many people who have helped us get to this day. And I like to think of these people as collectively making up a cruise ship. And I felt that way since I wrote this speech earlier this week. And not a scary cruise ship like the Titanic or a Carnival cruise, but a nice one like a Disney cruise. So first, you have the DOC staff. They are the engineers who built the ship and continue to keep it going strong. Without their support, none of this would exist. Just some that I deal with on a regular basis: Amy Pinkley-Wernz, Audrey McPherson, Captain Hyde, Sergeant Cheney, Donnell Myers, Officer Gill, and Officer Garber, all instrumental to our program. Our instructors, they are the talent and entertainment, the reason that people come on board. Thank you. We have a few in the audience today. Thank you for making it. Kathy Torsdale, Ernie Sturzinger, Paul Sherman, Karen Lynn Fassett. I see all your faces here. Thank you. To our visitors, the friends and family of our students, you are the support staff who keep things running behind the scenes. The accountants of our programs are the financial aid office and our generous donors. They secure the ship's finances, and without them, we wouldn't stay afloat. The Chemeketa Staff and Education Board, you are the engine. You power Chemeketa and therefore power us, and we wouldn't be here without you. And I'd like to also recognize Helena Longton, Fritz, and Richard Shire, who all keep our program going strong. To the students, you are the guests on the ship, and without you and your desire to learn, there wouldn't be any reason for the ship to exist at all. Dr. Jonathan Tucker, you are Mickey Mouse, the face of the program. You know, my friends didn't think I could call my boss Mickey Mouse and get away with it, but I did. I think I got away with it. Worked pretty well. I think the doctor part helped. So this cruise ship's on an educational journey, one that has many obstacles along the way. And overcoming those obstacles is the key to success. About 145 years ago, there was a young man who did just that. He wanted an education, but he never had much of an opportunity to attain one. One day, while working in the coal mines, he overheard 2 miners talk about a school that was better than anything he previously had access to. So he crept closer. He heard them talk about how you could work in exchange for board. And he thought that would make it an affordable option. And he was determined to go to the school. But he knew it couldn't happen in the coal mines. So he had to get himself ready for it. And he took a job that a lot of people didn't want with a very strict lady, and he became her servant. And he was scared of her at first, but over time, they became friends. And she knew of his journey, educational journey that he wanted to go on, and she allowed him to study for 1 hour during the day and at night. He built a library out of dried boxed goods, knocked out one side and put some shelves in it. He filled it with all the books he could find. He lived with this lady for a few years and acquired enough knowledge to then set out on his journey to the university he longed to attend. So with just a satchel containing a few sets of clothes, a little bit of money, he headed out on a 500-mile journey. There were no railroads that connected to this distance, so his only option was to take the train part of the way and then go by Stagecoach. And it was his first obstacle that he hit was in the mountains when he was on Stagecoach and they stopped to spend the night. But even though he was out of money, he hoped to plead with the owner to stay at the hotel, and everybody else in his party stayed at the hotel. But before he could even speak, he was turned away. He managed to keep warm by walking through the night. And for the next few days, he continued to walk and he begged for rides and wagons. Exhausted and hungry, he finally made it to Richmond, about 82 miles from his destination. He found an elevated position under the sidewalk where he could hide out and sleep for the night. And the next morning, he went and he looked for food. He found a large ship, and he offered to unload the ship to the ship captain in exchange for a meal and a little bit of money. Pleased with his work, the captain agreed to have him stay for a few more days, and he continued to sleep under the sidewalk, saving up his money. And once he determined he had enough, he headed out for the final 82 miles of his destination by Stagecoach. When he arrived there, he begged again for the job of a janitor so that he could work his way through the school. And eventually, he faced many more obstacles, but he overcame every single one of them and graduated from what is now Hampton University. The man is Booker T. Washington, and he went on to become one of the most influential individuals in American history. His quote was selected by our graduates as the theme for this graduation. You measure the size of the accomplishment by the obstacles you had to overcome to reach your goals. I think they chose this quote because of the obstacles that they've had to overcome to reach their goals. And I think all of our graduates will be able to tell their own story. But they overcame these obstacles, and they did so to the tune of an average 3.8 GPA. Wow. Congratulations on this tremendous achievement. Many new obstacles will follow, but you have proven that you have the ability to overcome them. So without further ado, it's time to honor your accomplishment of becoming college graduates. On behalf of the Board of Education and staff of Chemeketa Community College, we are now ready to begin awarding degrees. The graduates will come up and accept their degrees. Will the candidates for the Associate of Applied Science in Automotive Technologies degree please stand? Jade Berry. Rick Cheney. Justin Engel. Jason Grant. Robert Harter. Derek Johnson. Timothy Latham. Gary Lee. Danny Neal. Will the candidates for the Associate of Arts Oregon Transfer, Associate of General Studies, and/or the Associate of Science Oregon Transfer in Business please stand? Larry Barnard. Mark Fain. Aaron Gilbert. Casey Jones.
Thank you, Helena.
Jongwon Lim. Kevin O'Hara. Ben Reed. Jesse Woody.
Altogether, congratulations, graduates. I'm doing a quick check. We're not all together. If everybody can make sure the tassel's on the right-hand side of the mortarboard for us. I'd now like to introduce Executive Dean David Hallett from Chemeketa Community College for the official turning of the tassel.
So I get the best part of the best job of the day, I think, shaking hands and making it official. So on behalf of Chemeketa Community College and the Board of Education, we hereby confer the appropriate recognition for your academic achievements. You may now move the tassel on your mortarboard from the right to the left, signifying your commencement. Ladies and gentlemen, your graduating class of 2017. Congratulations.
If everyone can remain seated, if the graduates can come back to the bleachers just for 3 minutes, a little bit of housekeeping, then we're good to go. It's hot, I know, it's hot. I'm always obsessed in these graduation ceremonies with allowing the graduates to walk in to applause and also walk out officially to applause. So what we're going to ask these guys to do as soon as we cue the music is ask the front row to just kind of file through the front so we can all give you guys the standing ovation you deserve. So in 1 minute that will happen. We have cake to the side. I think we had a speech that mentioned that. We have some water, we have some juice. We encourage you to stay. We'd love to walk around and talk to as many people as we can and keep this relationship going. Thank you very much for coming. One final word to the graduates. I've thanked many people today, but I have not yet thanked you. Personally speaking, between me and you, and I'm probably talking about many of the people seated here as well, we use a ceremony like this to springboard our own lives as students, improve our own selves. We encourage each other. The college graduates watch GED and become encouraged. College graduates are told, what's the next step? Let's get you to a four-year university. I wanted to quickly say, me knowing you, the men in these bleachers, and the students in the back of the space, you men have improved my own life and the way that I currently reflect on my own life and the things that I need to improve for myself. And I think many of the people who know you are equally inspired. Thank you very much for inspiring us on a daily basis. Thank you, guys. One more time, congratulations. We can start clapping and we can play some music.